This is our first regular meeting of the year 2011. It's also the first time we've had the opportunity to meet as a reconstituted board with 4 new members. That's the most I think I've ever seen since I've been on the board. And it's our first chance to address this year the issues confronting post-secondary education. It may be useful every once in a while to pause and to think about why we are here. We come from all over the state, and we'll be going back all over the state to our respective homes. But it's a good idea every once in a while to stop and think about the bigger picture. We come here in service of higher education. We come here not only to serve higher education, but we come to serve the students and the citizens that they represent. And I believe that it's the purpose of higher education that we come to serve. It is its purpose to develop knowledge and then to disseminate knowledge. The knowledge of the generations past and present to be given to those that will run our state and country in the future. Those that we teach and those that learn in our institutions through their skills of critical thinking and their trainings for workforce development will then go out and change the world and change Louisiana and make us a better place to live, increase our quality of life all around. That's what we're here for. Fairly lofty goals. Sometimes we hear specific ideas concerning specific things, but it all fits into the goal of increasing our educational attainment so that it betters our state and the citizens that live in it. I've been on the board long enough to know most of your absolute feelings that the post-secondary education exercise, that it is absolutely necessary if we're going to increase the social and economic benefits and increase the quality of the environment that we live in. However, if you compare our educational attainment with those of our sister states, you will see that we compare low comparisons. Our educational attainment is not what it should be and not nearly what we can accept. Low educational attainment, that is the number of our citizens holding degrees and diplomas and certificates as a percentage of the population, has to improve. We have to increase our educational attainment or it endangers our ability as a state to remain competitive and relevant in a knowledge-based global economy. Simultaneously, we are faced with a substantial budget challenge that forces a comprehensive review of all of the state services, ours included, through a lens of efficiency and effectiveness. Given this reality, the Board of Regents must, while improving the educational attainment of our citizens, also redesign our delivery system so that it operates strategically and gives priority to high-quality programs and initiatives. This is indeed a tall order, but one that we will not shy away from. We will not fear that it will not be accomplished. We have a contract with our state and with our citizens. We have a mission to accomplish. And this commitment to drive the transformational changes that are required of our higher education enterprises begins now. I present to you a list of priorities that I have developed. It's not your list, it's mine, but I would like for you to consider them. I would like for you to even consider perhaps adopting them, modifying them however you want, but I wanted to suggest 10 points that I think are critical to our state and critical to our higher education needs. It's our obligation, and I've written down, let me pass them out. It's our obligation. Again, this is my suggestions. This isn't the board's. This is mine. I believe first that it is imperative that we shall assist our 4-year regional universities in providing not only excellent general education, but to identify a limited range of high-quality undergraduate degree programs in which they are to specialize. The Regents shall encourage our statewide universities to engage in a targeted innovative research exercises. The Regents shall support our flagship institution in Louisiana. It must be nationally competitive. It must be respected. It must become the jewel in our crown of higher education in this state. The Regents shall enhance our developing community and technical college system so that it meets the workplace needs as identified by our Louisiana employers and can provide the trained workforce for the jobs of today and tomorrow. The Regents we must create a more balanced enrollment mix between our 2-year and our 4-year institutions. And we can do this through increases in minimum admissions, such as that scheduled for 2012, and even more. We can do it through the expansion of articulation agreements, such as the statewide transfer degree, that allows students to seamlessly access the full menu of post-secondary offerings in this state. The Regents shall maximize creative partnerships among all of our institutions to streamline their business models and develop new delivery systems through distance learning. The Regents shall develop and support autonomies that allow our colleges and universities to manage their costs and to demonstrate reductions in administrative overhead, while at the same time striking a reasonable balance between the state and the students' support. Regents should prioritize affordability so that appropriate financial aid and other measures can be provided to the students so as to not diminish their access to post-secondary education. Regents shall advance a performance-based funding formula that aligns with the GRAD Act and provides an equitable distribution model for the funding appropriated to higher education. And finally, number 10, the Regents shall demonstrate improvement in student learning outcomes through measurable data and transparent reporting that can be shared publicly and used to drive our decision-making process. This is my list. This is my compass. These are my guideposts, but I submit them for your review and consideration. I will use this as the perimeters for everything that we do. I would hope that you would consider these priorities as well. Commit to those that you think reflect the outcomes you desire on your service on this board, and then communicate with each other so that we can communicate our shared vision, our shared missions, our shared priority to all the stakeholders of the state. We must join with all of our stakeholders that lend us their voices, our students, our faculties, our institutions, our staff, all of the stakeholders, in calling for a robust educational focus for our state that will undoubtedly, in the end, provide an excellent return on our investment. With this focus, we can and we must send that message. I would appreciate your consideration over the next few days of these points. Add to them, take them away, suggest modifications. But please think about them, and we can reconvene, of course, on Monday during our trustee conference. Thank you for your time to allow me to make those few points. Today, we submitted to our fellow board members a 10-point plan of goals, objectives, missions for the Board of Regents going forward. It enables us to hopefully focus our efforts and to put all of our work within parameters that all lead to ultimately increasing educational attainment.
What are some of the main points?
Well, it clearly shows our dedication to changing the mix between our 4-year and 2-year schools. Clearly, it indicates a redefinition of the role, scope, and mission of our regional schools. We have emphasis on the flagship agenda. We want to improve the research university's products. It is quite comprehensive.
Tell us a little bit about the ongoing announcement as far as reviewing of academic programs.
Well, as you know, yesterday we announced over 450 academic programs for review for possible termination based upon being low completers, and in some cases low completers as well as duplicative. We're going to review those programs over the next few months and to visit whether or not those programs should continue from the point of view of being presumed to be unproductive yet there may be explanations and reasons that we'd want to preserve them. But we're putting all of these programs on the table, all of them, which is the first time we've put all academic programs on the table for review at one time, for the purpose of trying to increase productivity and efficiency in the delivery of higher education services.
There's a lot of emphasis on higher education right now in Louisiana. What do you want people to know about the importance of higher education to the entire state?
It is indispensable to the well-being of this state, as it is to any state. Higher education will drive the issues of quality of life for decades to come. We must increase the educational attainment of our citizens, who will in turn be less dependent on the state for services. There will be a greater number of taxpayers. There will be a more enlightened population that attracts good industry and good business. It allows us to keep our kids at home and to allow them to raise their family in an ever-increasing better environment.